All those numbers will be participating and to discuss this issue and some of the major issues like low labour brokers. He is Cosatu's General Secretary, Tony Enhrenreich. Good morning, Tony. 30,000 people expected in the CBD today. Right now, we actually see a hive of activity. I mean, what's the kind of situation? Are you getting free transport for people to participate in the march?
There is free transport and there is going to be a definitely immense turnout around the strike. Actually, the taxi ranks a lot quieter than it normally is. But I think what we've seen with this strike is that even though the issue is labour brokers, the exploitation of workers by these labour brokers to take up to 35% of the worker's salary every month just for having placed them in a job, not creating any new jobs but just placing them in existing jobs. In many respects, that's a microcosm of what's happening in the economy. That there's a few people making a lot of money and the extravagances by which they live contrast with the poverty levels and the deepening poverty levels and inequalities of the majority of people in South Africa. So it's not only workers who are coming out, it's a number of community organizations, including the schools, who are saying, how can we in the township schools have resources that are half the resources they have in the richer white schools, for class sizes that are double the amount of children in the class than in the richer schools in the suburbs. We want the same education opportunities, the same prospects. So labour broking, this strike has become a microcosm of the problems in South Africa of poverty and inequalities, and the fact that we've got to do something about it as a matter of urgency.
Tony, on the issue of schooling, obviously some parents are feeling upset that there's been a call for teachers and pupils to participate. Just reiterating, why is it necessary that you've made that call?
Well, we're working with a number of organizations, so the Treatment Action Campaign, the Social Justice Coalition, as well as COSAS and the other student organizations are all part of the actions, coming out and supporting the need to put South Africa on a new growth trajectory to stop this system that just perpetuates the inequalities. And COSAS has said, if our children, if a third of them who enter school is getting to matric, that means there's a real fault in the education system. We'd rather sacrifice one day to say that the education you're giving us is of a substandard than being that substandard education a whole year where we don't have the opportunities and the outcomes that we deserve. So that's a decision that they've taken, and we think it makes sense. We've got to fix education along with all of the other areas that needs to be fixed in South Africa.
Thank you, Tony. That was Cosatu's General Secretary, Tony Enhrenreich, giving us more perspective on today's march. Back